I would like to introduce Megan Kavanaugh. We have a new recording secretary, taking Joan's place. Those are some big pens to fill. All right, first item on the agenda, we need an approval of the agenda. Patrick?
Yes, you have a variety of supplements added to your agenda. One moment. Does anybody have trouble with doing documents through the Wi-Fi here? It seems to sputter quite a bit. Obviously not. Never mind.
I don't.
Okay, we are adding supplemental information from SEH regarding Calvary Church, item 7A. We are also adding to item 8D1, EDAB and Park Board appointments. We have 2 applicants that we need to discuss. And also, we had a late addition from Chad's office regarding the water meter replacement agreement.
All right, but just no added agenda, just supplements.
Supplements, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, hearing that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I will move to approve the agenda.
A second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, approval of the minutes of February 4th. Any additions, deletions? What? Oh, I didn't sign them either.
They're in front of you.
Yeah, they'll have to wait. I think I'll sign them before I leave. All right, motion to approve?
The
Payment of the
what?
bills?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that motion carries. Now I need approval of the minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes of February 4, 2019.
Steve, you didn't call with any
I didn't
changes.
see any this time.
That's a first.
Well, things happen.
Scott, you second
I
it?
guess I'll second that.
I was waiting by my phone all day.
Well, I hope not too long.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, item number 5, consent agenda. Scott, you want to go through them?
So consent agenda 5A, the 2040 comprehensive plan. Call a public hearing for Monday, March 18th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at Heritage Hall, 4200 Otter Lake Road, to authorize submittal of the proposed 2040 comprehensive plan to the Metropolitan Council. Item 5B, special town board meetings. 5B1, call a special town board meeting for Thursday, February 21st, 2019, beginning at 6:30 p.m. at the White Bear Lake High School North Campus, 5045 Division Avenue, to attend a public informational meeting. Item 5B2, call a special town board meeting for Wednesday, February 27th, 2019, beginning at 6:30 p.m. at Otter Lake Elementary School, 1401 County Road H2, to attend a neighborhood meeting. Item 5B3, call a special town board meeting for Thursday, March 7th, 2019, beginning at 6:30 p.m. at the White Bear Lake High School North Campus, 5045 Division Avenue, to attend a public informational meeting. Item 5C, kayak storage policy. Approve the kayak storage policy with fees and placement of a sign on the rack at the recommendation of the town board. Item 5D, right-of-way permit based on the town engineer review and recommendation and including recommended conditions. Approve the Excel Energy permit to replace 9,500 feet of 2-inch gas mainline pipe along South Shore Boulevard and along Lakewood Avenue, with all work to be performed in the road right-of-way. And item 5E, construction activity report. Receive the report.
I have one question, Chad. On these special meetings, do we have to identify the information that's being supplied or not? Because I assume all these are for water gremlin?
No.
No. The,
No. The
who is,
Middle one is not.
pavement.
Well, I know it's for Otter Lake School, but
It's a road.
the middle one will be the first discussion with residents regarding the street or pavement management
okay.
project.
But 1 and 3 though, do we have to?
Yeah.
Yes,
Do we have to specify what they're for?
you should at least give a general specification, yes.
All right, so if we can make it just a correction to the consent agenda, that those special meetings are concerning water gremlin and the MPCA. Other than that, motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Consent? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that motion carries. All right, item number 6, old business, we have none. Going to move on to item number...
Mr. Chair, may I make one comment? About this kayak storage policy, we had talked about adding disclaimer language to the, regarding personal injury or property damage. I think that, instead of putting it in the policy, we should put it in the permit that they sign. So that's why I think the policy, I'm going to make a recommendation that we, to Patty, that we add language to the permit disclaiming any responsibility to the township for damage to property or personal injury by use of the storage rack.
All right, is that something we should add to the consent agenda then?
No, I don't think you need to.
Okay.
I just wanted to, because we had talked about it before, at the last meeting, we talked about the
Yeah.
policy. I wanted to kind of make sure, clarify that we had that we're dealing with the issue. Just we're not dealing with through the policy, we're dealing with the permit instead.
Through that application?
Yeah, the
process?
application,
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I understood. Yeah.
All right, is that something we need a motion for, Chad, or not?
No.
Okay.
And more for informational purposes,
All right.
that's all.
Okay, item number 7, Calvary Church, 4604 Greenhaven. Tommy, is that you?
That would be me, yep.
See, this is a continuation. Mine is really acting slow too, cheapers.
Yeah. I don't know what's
Easier
going
just to
on.
page through. I can't. There we are.
I can't keep going. All right, we don't need to waive the reading, do we, Chad? As soon as it's been,
Yeah, it's already been,
all
it's a
right. I just need a
continuation.
motion to open the public hearing.
I'll move to open the continuation of the meeting for February 4th.
You want a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Tom, sorry.
All right, continuation of a hearing for an addition, a 6,000 square foot addition of classroom space onto the east side of the Calvary Church, which is located in the westerly portion of the township, off of County Road 96 and Greenhaven Drive. Again, a 6,000 square foot classroom space. It's consistent with the master plan that shows additions onto the church on both the east, north, and west side. In addition, the master plan shows additional parking being constructed on the east side of the church. That is not proposed tonight, but they are proposing an addition as shown on the plan there, 6,000 square feet. It takes up a smaller portion of the overall master plan of the site there. It's been continued for the past couple of meetings, been waiting some additional review from the town's wetland scientist. That has been completed now. That report is in your supplement. And the conditions that they've outlined have been attached to the zoning certificate, which the town would adopt if this is approved. In addition to the discussion here, again, for classroom space, there is some landscaping in the area that needs to be relocated where the new building is going to be, or the addition is to be constructed. The storm pond on the east side of the site is being expanded slightly in size to accommodate additional storm runoff. This, the west side of the site under the parking lot is the town's first underground stormwater treatment system. And with that came requirements for yearly inspections. Have not been performed on a yearly basis, but an inspection and cleaning was done at the end of 2017. So we've got that confirmation. Building material colors with the addition proposed to match the existing building there. Again, the previously reviewed by the town at a public hearing. There were a couple of residents in attendance at the meeting. In addition, we got phone call and emails relative mostly to parking on the site. No controversy relative to the addition, but one gentleman said he had concerns about parking on Greenhaven Drive during church services and potential that it might be a dangerous situation. Greenhaven Drive's a 32-foot wide street. It accommodates parking on both sides with 12-foot lanes. Did contact the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department after town board recommendation to see if they had any input. They felt that there is no need to eliminate on-street parking there. They have not seen a situation. We also had a couple living in the neighborhood attend the public hearing, and they did not think posting was a good idea. So it's fairly limited, just to Sunday mornings. Previously, again, reviewed by the Planning Commission as a conditional use permit. Planning Commission did recommend approval of the project as was proposed. So the next step in the review process is for the town board to review the conditional use permit and take action on that. In your packet is a zoning certificate, which the town typically adopts as part of a approval process if this is to be approved, and that would outline the conditions for approval of this project.
All right, Scott, got any questions?
No.
Steve?
I'll get myself back to the packet. The condition, I have to get back to the conditional use permit. You got it pulled up there? So the report from SEH that
Yes.
says you do not approve this is included now in the conditional use permit, or is that still pending out there?
It's, their recommendation was the town not approve it. What staff did was we said, if you approve it subject to the conditions outlined in
Okay.
their recommendations. So those are what are incorporated into the zoning
I was
certificate.
trying to go between this doesn't work real well to go from the supplemental package back.
I'm having the
Yes.
same
It's a
problem.
clunky.
It's funky.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So, it's included in there, is what you're
Correct.
telling us? Okay, and I have no other questions.
Well, I guess I'm kind of curious, Jim, you got, well, the conditional use permit has 34 conditions, but on page, what is that,
44?
44, you only show 6 of them have been, hit the requirements, so 6 out of 34, and we're still expected to pass this?
Are you talking about on page 54?
44,
44.
of the packet, anyway. It's where it's the last page of your conditional, the use permit requirements.
Yes, so this originally was approved by a conditional use permit, subject to a number of conditions, many of which have been satisfied.
Well, according to this, it's only 6 of them out of 34 have been satisfied.
I think it's more than
Am I
that.
reading that wrong?
Yeah. Some of them are still incorporated as part of, we just included them as conditions since they continue to be conditions for approval, such as the inspection of the underground storage system. That's included in here, that was included with the original permit. Things like the park fee, well, that doesn't need to be paid again, so we just included that as some of the last conditions, just to acknowledge that these have already been satisfied. They could easily be just taken out, too.
So, let's ask Mr. Engineer, you're comfortable with where it sits today?
Yeah, I think, Mr. Chair, members of the board, through these last couple weeks, the documents have gotten to the people that need to review them. Our items that remain to be done are minor. The major activities, concerns that we have already been addressed. So I think a lot of these action items are minimal activities and we can move forward with this activity and feel confident with the project going forward.
All right, any other questions of staff? Okay, I need a motion to open for public comment.
I'll move to open it for public comment.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Anyone here to speak to the subject? Pretty quiet out here. All right, hearing none, motion to close the public comment portion.
I'll move to close the public portion of the public comment of the,
Oh, do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Steve, obviously, you've been following this through planning commission.
Yes, and the opening question I asked tonight was really if it's covered, staff is satisfied, or engineering staff satisfied. I make a motion based on the planning commission and town staff review and recommendation, approve the conditional use permit zoning certificate with attached requirements for Calvary Church, 4604 Greenhaven Drive, to allow construction of a 6,000 square foot feet of classroom space.
Do I have a second on the motion?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Moving on. Item number 8, new business. We have Public Works Director item. I don't see Dale here.
Nope, I'm gonna do my best to impersonate Dale.
We like to ask questions that you won't be able to answer.
Yeah,
so.
thank you for that. He said if there are any hard-hitting questions about this, he'd be happy to come back next meeting and walk through them. But I believe this is the 4th year that we have done this in this manner, street sweeping, and he is recommending Allied Blacktop's company quote. It is a slight increase over the rate of what we had last year, not enough to raise any kind of budgetary flags for him. And they were satisfied with the program. So I guess I would be looking for either accepting or approving Allied Blacktop, or suggesting another course of action this evening from the board.
I'll just make this comment. One thing that I would like absolutely to be clear that they are not starting at the pre-dawn hours, which gets people very excited when they're out working
I
before
believe-
7 a.m. I can't see where it said Dale said he would deal with that and the seal coating, that they would not be
Yep.
starting too early. And,
Correct. He was out for, I think it was the seal coating because of
Yes.
personal issue last year, and was not there to provide oversight. He has, as long as he is healthy, said that he will make sure that that does not occur on either one of these, Steve.
So 10-hour days, they can certainly start sometime after
Oh, yeah,
7.
especially in May and June and July.
People have their windows open.
Yeah.
So,
And plus two, during the week, they can go till 10 at night.
yes.
But
Yeah,
So I have no questions if it's on the record that they are going to start before 7 a.m.
okay,
I prefer not till 8 a.m., but
yeah.
something we should discuss with Dale, does the city have their own sweepers, or do they also contract out?
White Bear City?
Yeah.
I can find out for you.
Well, it'd be kind of curious, because, boy, I know both of these folks are not exactly close in proximity, so. And I know, I remember we priced out a sweeper a ways back, and it was not economical to purchase one. so.
I wondered about that.
But that might be something for Dale to follow, if we can, or Hugo, or whoever's in the area, that maybe we've combined with Hugo on other projects like this. It'd be nice if we could do a joint deal.
Sure.
for the future, or for this one too.
Well, I think it's probably too late for now,
Too
but
late.
this year, but something to keep in mind for the future.
I will pursue that with him tomorrow.
All right, any other questions of Patrick? We didn't stump him.
Dale told me even you can't screw this one up tonight, kid. So,
Well, we tried.
yeah, good try.
All right, looks like we're going to take these as two separate motions. The first is to receive the quotes.
Yes.
I'll, based on Public Works Director's review and recommendation, I'd make a motion to receive the quotes from Allied Blacktop and Pierce Company and Pearson Brothers.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, then the second item is to approve the proposal to Allied.
Based on the Public Work Director's review and recommendation, make a motion to approve the proposal from Allied Blacktop Company for $86.50 per hour per sweeper, and the disposal fee of $34 per cubic yard for a total of $19,650, noting that the funding would come from the Stormwater Utility Fund.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion also carries. Item number 8B, we have a comprehensive plan consulting services. That you, Tom?
Yep, we're wrapping up the comprehensive plan. The hearing was called tonight. There'll be a presentation at the annual meeting. Planning Commission will be giving its, probably its final review next week. The original contract for this had the project being wrapped up by the end of 2018. We took a little bit longer than that, received an extension from the Met Council that brought us into 2019. Some additional work, some additional meetings involved with that, and our consultant, Laura from Hoisington Kogler Group, is thinking it'll be, it would cost another $3,500 to bring the plan to completion. I contacted the town's finance officer to see what we had budgeted, if anything, in this year, and we do have funding budgeted to complete the plan. In the Community Development Fund, there's an additional $5,000 to be spent, or which could be spent this year for this under professional services. So staff recommendation would be to approve a fund, an amount not to exceed $3,500 to help us finish up the comp plan.
Was all this funding from last year, or is it coming forward to this year?
This is new funding for this year, so just this $3,500
Okay.
is 2019 money.
All right, any questions? Hearing none? We have a motion to approve this expenditure.
I'll make a motion based on the staff review and recommendations, approve the additional compensation Hoisington Kegler Group, Inc. in the amount of $3,500 to complete the 2040 comprehensive plan with funding from the general fund.
A second on the motion?
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 8C, we have an independent contractor agreement for Township Days. Is that you, Patrick? Or you, Tom?
Well, I can take it.
Mr. Tom.
Yep. Town was, worked with Lisa Beecroft, who is a new consultant we worked with for Township Day in 2018, after the tragic death of Deb, who we'd worked with a couple of years before. Lisa gave us a proposal to organize and coordinate Township Day and 4 movies in the park events for 2019. She's requesting a fee of $7,000 for Township Day and $350 per night for a movie in the park. That's a slight increase from last year's contract amount. But this was reviewed by the park board and recommended for approval to go forward with the contract with Lisa.
Chad, have you reviewed this?
Yes, I have.
No.
It's acceptable.
Okay. Well, things went pretty well last year, didn't they? I mean, for, as far as,
I think we had the biggest turnout ever last year.
well, I know, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, for, everything was organized the way it was handled.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think she stepped in and did an admirable job in a kind of a bad situation for us. She tried to find economic ways to handle the movies in the park, made good recommendations, or the movies, yeah. Those things worked out well. She made some changes on the go that kept the cost down. We had trouble trying to find, for example, a food vendor that would come and work for them because the crowds were so varied for the movie in the park night, and she arranged for people to come and basically sell stuff for cheap without a food vendor there. The food shelf was a nice addition. I mean, she works really hard. She's also the Market Fest coordinator, and I think we are very satisfied, and the price is the price. I don't think we're gonna do better.
Right, got anything else?
No.
All right, it looks like this would be a park board matter, Steve?
Yep, it sure is, and I don't know what we're really supposed to do with it. It doesn't say just approve it, I guess.
Yeah.
Approve the agreement?
Well, you approve the form and authorize execution.
I'll make a motion to approve the form and authorize execution of the independent contractor agreement for Township Days with Lisa Beecroft from March 2019 through October 2019.
I'll second that.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on to general business. Item D, the EDAB and Park Board appointments.
Yep, Mr. Chair, we did add supplemental information specific to appointing an additional EDAB board member. I'm going to ask Chad a question here, and actually, hopefully that will segue into the board making a choice here. So we've got two applicants who staff will recommend filling out a couple of seats at the EDAB. I'm not sure what we need to do in terms of procedure, if we need to fill the vacant one that expires here in 2 months, or if we can plug those two folks into the ones that have 2 more years left on their terms. Do we have a priority that we need to assign?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
I would suggest that if you don't mind, taking these two applicants and assigning them for the 2-year terms, so we can dial them in for a while. We could still work on maybe finding some. This will, at least the two will give us a quorum going forward. And I'd like to get some continuity in there if we could. So if we could give those two, the two that expire in 2 years, I think that would be the best case scenario.
Well, in addition to that, so the third one that's going to expire, are we just going to wait till it expires so you can start over
I think so.
and run?
And I gotta tell you, honestly, I think the best way that we're going to be filling any of these positions is word of mouth. We're not getting anything off of our ads, essentially. Tom recruited one of these folks for us, and the other one came just kind of randomly. So,
All right, that work for the board?
Works for me.
For me.
sure.
excellent.
I believe we have one of the applicants in the audience.
Uh-huh.
He wants to stand up and talk.
A
to
random
us.
one? Hey. I
Justin,
wear
would you
that
like
hat.
to
Yeah.
step up to the podium and introduce yourself, give your address, and,
You dressed for the occasion. I'm
Yeah, no
impressed.
kidding.
yeah, you made us look kind of.
You get your tie on tonight?
My name is Justin Stoffron. I live at 2682 Martin Way in the Township, and currently work for Flaherty and Hood, which is a public affairs firm in St. Paul. We represent local governments in greater Minnesota, and so I do work around economic development for the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities, as well as the Greater Minnesota Partnership and some of our other organizations. So I'm excited to,
I see you're, been in the township 2 years?
yes, yep.
I noticed a lot of the applicants now are newbies.
Newer.
That's a good thing, by the way.
No, that is, it's kind of brings a refreshing, maybe a new aspect or a attitude towards the township too.
Absolutely.
Any questions of the applicant?
Well, not really questions. I know you know a couple people that are on the park board, correct?
Yep.
And they are both good members of our organization, and you come recommended. So can't beat that. So, I have no other questions.
Well, thank you.
Of course. Thank you guys.
All right, so we need a motion to approve Justin Stoffren for the E EDAB.
I'll make a motion based on the staff review and recommendation, appoint Justin Stofferin to the EDAB to fill the unexpired term through, one of the unexpired terms through April 30th, 2021.
Thank you, Steve.
And I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Welcome.
Welcome.
Can-
Yes.
So there's another seat, so you'll appoint one other person, and then there's a third seat that's
That
open?
expires in about 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And is there anything, I'm just thinking in terms of, if I ask around, are there any specific qualifications around that seat at all, or is it, other than living in the town?
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Although we've had a business rep on
Business rep, sure.
EDAB as
Yep.
well. But this one I think requires township residency, just some business background I think is preferred. Yeah.
And just in case you're wondering why there's 3 openings, we've had one of the members decided he wanted to do something different. Ran for office. So, welcome. So,
All right, let's see, item number 2, appointment of the new park board member.
no, we haven't.
Oh.
Nope, we haven't, you gotta do the other one.
The
I
other
don't-
one. That's in the supplement.
That's a supplement.
And that's Kurt Atkinson.
I don't have
Want me to
it.
get to the supplement for
Hang
you?
on, I got it
Yep,
here.
I don't
Okay,
have it.
hang on, here we go, right here. Hang on, we'll get you there. Right there. You're going to get an application.
Boy. Okay. All right, Patrick, you want to go over that one, review that one? Can you get to it?
Yeah, so Mr. Atkinson came at the recommendation or direction of Tom, and he just applied today. So the reason for the late addition for your supplemental packets, staff is recommending that he fill the additional vacant board member position that expires in 2021.
Yeah, I'll make a comment that he's on the park board.
Yep.
He's been involved with the Rotary.
Correct.
So he's connected through the communities. He worked heavily with White Bear, I think, before, even though he lived in the township, through the Rotary. Has been a consistent, I mean, he attended our meetings. He's not been, I think he'd be a good addition, actually. And Tom tells me he's going to stay on the park board also.
Well, we don't have an issue with that because
No,
we.
we do not.
Nope,
we've had
I would add that from
crossover.
your minutes of June 1995 in your EDAB bylaws, Park Board, Utility Commission, and Planning Commission members shall receive first opportunity to be involved in the EDAB, so that he can fulfill that position.
So,
Yeah,
obviously you know him.
I do, and
Okay.
I'd make a motion to accept him
Thanks,
as
Justin.
Thanks,
for one of the vacancies expiring in 2021, if that's what we want to do for our E EDAB.
Sounds like a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries.
Excellent.
All right, any other surprises, or can we now go to the park board?
You can go to the Park Board now.
All right, I'll get back to the packet.
Okay, so this is where it gets a little more difficult for you. You're gonna have to make a choice. We have one position open on the Park Board,
66.
right, Tom?
Correct. One position.
And we have received two applications, Thomas Wilson and Richard Sinclair. Since I am not familiar with either one of these two gentlemen and just looking at their backgrounds, et cetera, it's hard for staff to make any kind of a recommendation on this one. So I hate to be a sissy about it, but we're gonna defer to your expertise.
I can help out a little bit.
Oh, good.
The two applicants, we have one from the south side of the township, of which we have two park board members already. And I believe he's a fairly new resident, less than a year still.
Month and
That
a
was an
half.
application we've had on hand for some time. And then the one from Mr. Sinclair we received here this last week. He's up in the Otterview Trail neighborhood, the northerly portion of the township near Brandlewood in Otter Park. Again, a newer resident, but he has been in the town for a little bit more than a year. And as a result of geography, that seems
Most
to
appropriate?
be the best fit, as we have one other park board member from that general neighborhood.
Okay. Excellent.
And I don't know either one of them, so, personally, anyway.
Nor do I.
That makes it an easy, objective decision for you,
Yeah.
Well, we have always tried to diversify across the
and that makes sense.
township, get a kind of a broad spectrum, so that, I mean, and I guess that does make probably the most sense with 2 or 10 applicants.
I concur with that. And I would be happy to make a motion to accept Richard Sinclair as a new member for the park board.
Do I have a second on the
I'll
motion?
second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? All right. Park board's filled?
All right. Filling up board position.
All right, moving on. Item 8E, the water meter replacement agreement. Chad, are you gonna handle this, or?
Yes, I know this came in late.
Yep.
This, what's proposed here is the response received from Census and Core Main to our settlement agreement. I'm comfortable with their proposed amended language. I don't know if you want to, we will be meeting again on March 4th, so, and you're only seeing this now, and it took Core and Main and Census a long time to get back to you. You may want to table this and have a chance to review it.
A question that I have is on this Schedule A where it's got the pricing, it says the date is as of October 17th and the pricing is good for 90 days.
That, Exhibit A was something that was negotiated, and obviously that's got to be straightened out.
Okay.
Yeah. I noticed that there's also pricing in section provisions and installation of water meters as well, Section 2. But that's why I think you should take some time to look at this.
Chad, does this also address the possible storage or cataloging of the meters or not?
I believe it does.
It says we get them back.
Means we're
But then what do
storing
we
them.
do
Yeah,
with
it's
them?
in Section 3, it reads, "It is hereby understood by the parties that the present water meters are the property of the town. As Core and Main removes the old meters, it shall attach a tag to each meter identifying the address from which the meter was removed. The town and Core and Main shall make arrangements for transferring the old meters to town control." So yes, that's taken care of.
But do we know where
And-
we're gonna put it?
Or how long we have to keep them?
Yeah.
There's one provision I think you need to consider, and I've talked to Dale about this, and I was comfortable with it. The more I look at it, the more I do have I'm a bit troubled. It's also in Section 3, and it deals with the town ensuring that Core and Main and its subcontractors will be allowed access for the replacement of all meters. I seem to remember when the meters originally installed, there was issues getting access, so I'm a little concerned about that as I review it again.
Your point is well taken that we should pause and take some time to think about this. That Section 3, my question had to do with, they're going to identify where they came from. Well, I would like to know I don't necessarily, I hate to use the word trust, but I'd like to have some concept of what they're going to tag these with so that because 3-4 years from now or 5 years from now, I want to make sure we can identify that is the specific, if we get in trouble with a resident some way down the road, that is the meter that came out of that particular house for that particular person. So I want it spelt out what tag, somewhat we agree what tag, how they're going to identify where these pulled meters come from. Because that was the concern part of this was, storage, but identification in case we have to need it for evidence someday. of way, shape, or form.
Well, I would say based on the attorney's recommendation, we should hold off on this we've already been dealing with this for how long? I don't think, 2 weeks is
2
going to
weeks
be,
can't kill it.
is going to be a big thing.
And I think staff needs to clear up the schedule items, to get some further agreement on the pricing structure so that we're.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I know I'm late to all the proceedings regarding this situation. How long was our warranty with this equipment?
I would say
You know that, don't you?
Well, Mr. Chairman of the board, what I might suggest is, whatever questions you have, you can direct it to them. On Friday, we have the water meters on our executive meeting.
Okay.
And I think we can run through those components at that time. But if there's anything specific tonight that you want Chad, Dale, or myself to be making sure we get that information, we can have that ready for Friday.
I think if you can get the pricing straightened out, I think by Friday, that's one big hurdle
And-
because it's dated.
Yeah, and I know they have committed to the pricing. I think there would easily be the extension, just that their standard statement was it's good for 90 days, and this has languished longer than that period, but
I guess from a finance standpoint, I guess I'm wondering, and just as a history question, did we receive any kind of a refund
for?
I think that was supposed to be built into this pricing.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
That was one of the things that was, I know that this had been a topic on the utility board a long time.
Got it.
And
Okay.
so we wanted a refund, but they wanted to charge for new ones, and so it's like, can we just net that out?
Okay.
Originally, if we were to go with someone else, they would have to refund us something. But it seems that we're using them, it was incorporated into the better pricing.
Okay.
You know, and actually, the point about the 90-day pricing is a good point, because in Section 2 of the contract, they do state the prices. Yet the Exhibit A also states prices and indicates they're only good for 90 days. I mean, you know, it's clear the intent is the price is the price. But we should go back to Core and Main and say, hey, just remove the 90-day, you know.
Well, I think the exec board meeting is a
Represent
better
us, yeah.
platform to get these issues resolved.
Okay.
But in the legal world, words matter, and so that needs to get cleared up.
They do. And I think these, to be perfectly honest, they accepted most of our agreement. There's really minor, I mean, Jim, you've looked at it. They didn't really make much changes to it.
The basic changes are them just trying to have it worded in a way that does not reflect negatively on themselves.
Yeah.
Well, you could be a politician there,
Item
Jim.
Well, actually, that's a pretty fair statement, because the non-disparagement clause is quite important. And I can understand their position.
All right, so I would be looking for a motion to table this, and we'll review it at the exec board meeting.
I will move to table this conversation to the executive meeting.
I'll second that. Would that, quick question, will that also change the initial lead-in paragraph? If we're tabling this, we're gonna run out of time on this.
Yeah, I'll just bring it back. We'll just change it to March.
Okay, good.
Can I just confirm, I mean, were there any specific components we talked about, just with the pricing, with the access, with the storage? Was there anything else you wanted us to
I
make
think it
sure?
would be helpful to clarify which fund it's coming out of.
Funding.
And also, exactly what do they mean by tagging and documenting?
Yeah.
I don't know, do they take a black magic marker and write something on the meter, or what do they do?
Well, to Steve's point,
just-
you know, how can you tell 5 years from now that this meter came from this location? How would we handle that?
And that'll be a discussion that we'll get into more detail at the executive meeting. We've got into this discussion as to how long we will need to have them and when we can dispose of them. So that'll be a good one for Friday.
And the issue of of the use of the word ensure, we can deal with that on Friday as well.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, moving on. Looks like the last item on the agenda, the resignation of a probationary employee.
Yep, staff recommends that we accept this resignation. We also are recommending that, in terms of filling the position in a temporary manner with a temporary accounting firm employee, we would like to extend our search for filling in that position to a spring posting so that we can draw recent college graduates to the position for training purposes.
So, in the interim, you're going to have to use some temporary help
Yes.
of sorts to fulfill that.
Yes.
Will that spring posting then give you adequate time to, I know you yourself want to do some further refinement of staff functions.
Yes.
Will that give you enough time to be able to do that then?
Yeah, that's the first
And
one we're gonna do.
modify?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any question about accepting the resignation. And
All right, so I need a motion to accept the resignation of the probationary employee.
I'll move to accept the resignation of the probationary employee. And you want to do the second part too?
Yeah.
And authorize hiring an account temp from the employment agency to fill the position temporarily. And then we're going to reopen the position within 6 to 8 weeks as recommended.
And now, the more that I think about it, just in terms of timing, I think what we should do is hire our temp employee and overlap that with posting it probably within the next week or so. and letting it go for a couple weeks, because we're getting to the end of college years. I mean,
Well, I will modify my recommendation to agree with what the town clerk has recommended. You're in the best position to know what our needs are on that level, so I have no problem modifying it.
All right, do I have a second for the motion?
I'll second that.
Where do you plan on advertising, Patrick, if you don't think we're getting any response from, what, League of Minnesota Cities?
League of Minnesota
website?
Cities, Minnesota Workforce, Association of Minnesota Counties. Even though it's counties, they still have, you get municipal postings there. And I know that Patty has 3 or 4 that she usually posts in as well. I think we're gonna expand it. I also know, I've got a couple of folks that I know through Hamlin, Concordia, and McAllister, and William Mitchell, that I think we can put some postings out directly to accounting or finance students that I think will draw the type of applicant that we're looking for. So,
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, that motion carries. Item number 9, we have no added agenda items. Open time? Looks like,
Nobody.
nope, no one wants to talk to us.
don't
Right.
take that as an insult.
Item 11.
I just would like to go on record, Mr. Chair, that I think our Public Works Department, through this heavy snow month of February, record snow, have done an outstanding job, and I'd like to authorize the clerk on our behalf to tell them, job well done.
Not only plowing, but the water tower,
Absolutely.
yeah, they did an outstanding job.
It's been a tough 30 days.
Yep.
It has.
And it's not, winter's not over either.
No, we got the snowiest month to
By a long
go.
shot.
I will pass that along.
No, they do a great job. Even though, I know when it's plowing, everybody can't be first. So some people, they think all of them should be done immediately, but that's a tough job. All right, moving on. I need a motion to receive agenda materials and supplements.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:48.
Wow.
Thanks, folks.